Hello, 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 and welcome to our weekly live show. I am Fabiana Claure, pianist and business strategist for musicians, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to our Thursday show. If you are a musician who is interested in creating leverage in your business and no longer limiting to be the operator in your business, the one that's running the day to day, that is consumed by all the micro tasks and all the things that are needed for your business to survive, and you're decided to become a CEO and build a music business that can work on autopilot, that can run without you needing to be involved in absolutely every step of the way, you are in the right place. This is our weekly show to talk about how to elevate your business, elevate your perspective as a leader, and elevate your mindset. So today's training is about creating effective standard operating procedures in your music business and why this is important that you start thinking, even if you're just a team of one, even if you're a mighty team of one. Say hello in the chat, by the way. Let me know where you are joining me from. This is live, so I want to hear from you all. But even if you are a mighty team of one, this is going to help you start creating a lot of vision around how you can build your procedures and why you need to start thinking in this macro perspective in your business instead of just the doing. So if you're not familiar with my story, my background, I come from the background of being a musician and having created two businesses. My first business was a brick and mortar music school. It still is. It's called Superior Academy of Music. And my second business is an online business consulting program where I help musicians build, grow, and scale their businesses online. And throughout these two businesses that I've built, I was also a university professor for 5 years, teaching musicians how to build businesses while going through their academic degree programs. So my experience comes from both being a musician, being an entrepreneur, a small business owner, teaching this, creating the curriculum, breaking down the step by step on how to transfer this experience in a documented curriculum, and having helped musicians in the context of university. But then beyond that, now translating this into the online space and showing musicians really what's possible in terms of not just building a sustainable business, but ultimately building a business that can run efficiently, that can run based on systems and delegation, and ultimately give you that space that you need to build your business and your life the way you want it to. So let me know in the chat, where are you joining me from? I see I have some people live with me today. Hello, 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 welcome. And let's talk SOP. So if you're not familiar with the abbreviated term SOP, it means standard operating procedure, okay? And what I want you to think about SOPs is thinking about how you can create, you know how in music we have the double dots at the end of a sequence of measures and bars, right? We have maybe 8 measures. There's a double dot. You do it again. You repeat it before you go on to the next section of the piece. Well, I want you to think of SOPs like those double dots. Those are the things that are going to help you repeat your systems without having to be redundant, without having to exert the same amount of energy you did the first time around. And how can you start now building more leverage? So when you think about all the different things that you're doing right now in your music business, and I want you to really take some time to apply what I'm telling you in real time. The more you apply these trainings in real time, oh, hello, we're having someone from Ohio. That's wonderful. I bet you it's cold there right now. Who else? Who else is joining me? Where else are you watching me from? Share it with me in the chat. So when you think about SOP, standard operating procedures, you're going to need to remember that the idea behind creating an SOP is that you right now are doing a lot of things in your business and you're just not delegating. You're just doing it yourself because you know how to do it. And at some point, even if you're really, really good at it, at some point, this is going to become a liability for you. Why do I say a liability? Because the more you do things that depend on you, that you cannot replicate and remove yourself from, and that only you know how to get this specific result, whether it's a process in your business, whether this is a process with your clients. By the way, this is something that you can replicate. SOPs are not just for administration and business related tasks. SOPs are also part of what you can actually create to get your students, your clients results. There are processes, there are systems, frameworks that you're going to develop as a savvy musician entrepreneur that can be replicatable and help your clients get results without you needing to be involved every step of the way. And it can help your team members get results for you and your business without you needing to be involved every step of the way. So type leverage in the chat if you want to build leverage. If you're interested in saying, okay, how can I start creating more leverage? So it starts with you, number one, making the decision to say, I do not want to be the one all be all of this business, right? Can we get an amen for this? Like, you need to just make that decision, because so many musicians get stuck in this stage where they just don't see themselves able to remove themselves from their business. They honestly feel like unless they do it, that no one will do it like they can, and no one will really measure up, right? So what I want you to, number one, is start with that realization that if you are serious about leveling up your business, you have to be willing to let go that perfectionistic attitude, that sense of control. I have to do it this way. Otherwise, no one's going to do it like me. No one else can do this. You need to make a commitment to releasing that desire to be 100% in control. Okay. That's the first thing. Number one, be okay with relinquishing control. Now, number two, for you to create that procedure, you need to break down exactly what you're doing. So you need to see yourself as a teacher and as a coach for whoever you're delegating things to, right? So if you have someone that's coming in that you want to offload things, whether it's an intern, whether it's someone you hire like a virtual assistant, whether it's a family member, you're putting things on their plate. Your job is to realize you cannot delegate this unless you break down step by step, what is it that you do? Just like you all may be familiar with, there's great music teachers who know how to play really well. And not only do they play really well, but they also know how to break down how they get to play that well, right? Have you ever worked with a teacher who you're like, yeah, this person not only is a great musician, but they also know how to teach. They also know how to explain this. On the other hand, you may have also worked with musicians who are really good at doing, but not necessarily good at explaining, right? Same thing happens in business. You need to be the savvy business owner that you're not just good at doing, but you also have to be good at explaining, right? And so your job is to say, okay, how can I build processes? Look at everything you're doing right now in your business. What are the different things you're doing? Generally, there's going to be a pocket of your business that is related to marketing, where you're building an audience, you're creating content, you're creating whatever sort of visibility. There's going to be a pocket that's going to be related to sales, whether you're enrolling clients in your offer, whether you're having enrollment conversations, whether you're researching your ideal clients and figuring out what they want, who they want it for, and how, like, what are their pains, their desires, right? There's going to be an element of financial management too. How are you going to manage the finances in your business? Are you currently keeping up with your books? Maybe you have someone that assists you. What does the financial component of your business look like, right? So we talked about marketing, we talked about sales, we talked about financial components. There's also going to be the client delivery. What does the client delivery look like? If clients come and work with you, right, over there's a period of 3, 4, 6 months, a year, 10 years, what does that journey look like for them? When they come to you with a certain problem, and what's that result that you want to get them to achieve? How can you pinpoint what that journey needs to look like? And along the way, how can you create systems and procedures that get them those results without you needing to be involved every step of the way? And this is something that, in the work I do with musicians, we really drill down a lot, because when you build an online business, you actually have a lot of opportunities to create multiple touch points with your clients so that they can get results through recordings, through asynchronous instructions, sending videos back and forth, so many ways that they can get results without you needing to be face-to-face with you one-on-one, right? That's just a kind of side note, but I'm very passionate about, because I think most musicians really don't understand that, or haven't really developed an awareness of the new models that exist today. So we talked about marketing, we talked about sales, we talked about financing, we talked about client fulfillment, right? And finally, there's going to be an operations arm to what you're doing in your business. And again, even if it's just you, I still want you to think of this as departments, right? Because if you're the one doing all the jobs, it's not going to be forever. I promise you, especially if you learn how to think in this way, how to build systems, build procedures, eventually someone will take that off your plate and you will not be the one doing it, right? But it starts with kind of breaking down these 5 core pillars. We've got marketing, sales, finance, client fulfillment, and operations. So within those 5 kind of core pillars, you need to now start breaking down maybe for now, just think about the 5 core systems that move the needle in those areas. What are the 5 most important things that you're doing right now for marketing? What are the 5 most important things you're doing for sales, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as you continue deepening this awareness, you can start building your SOPs. Somebody say SOPs in the chat. Let's write SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? This is what's going to allow you to start thinking about your business in this macro version of it. You're no longer just serving your clients, just getting new clients. You're building an enterprise that ultimately is going to work without you if you do things this way, right? So creating procedures means documenting things, and the documentation part of it can be as easy as making videos walking through what you're doing in each step of the way. Where are the things that you need to do? I love using an app called Loom, Loom, that allows you to make a screen recording of your computer while you're walking through these different steps. And then you have that video and it becomes an SOP. It becomes a procedure that you can share with someone. They can do that for you and you no longer have to explain it, right? So that's one of the things that I think is important, that find the right tools, find the right strategies to building those standard operating procedures. So with that, then you should have now a better idea to say, okay, I can document the 5 core steps and areas that I'm using in these 5 different departments. And from there, I'm now going to find someone. Many times we get caught up in the how we're going to build our businesses. How can I do this? What are the options? What should I look for? And so many times the musicians that I work with at the beginning process of the beginning stages, they get really caught up in the how. But I want to offer you as a final note to this like super bite-sized training, you need to start thinking not just in terms of how, but in terms of who, right? Who is the right person to take this off my plate? Who's the right person that can help me guide this next development, this procedure, not just from an execution standpoint, but also perhaps from a strategy standpoint? Maybe you need a different perspective, a better guidance on how you can delegate this to the right type of person. Who's this person that's going to be taking this off my plate? What are their characteristics? So I want you to start asking yourself all these questions. Do you have these departments, so to speak, defined right now in terms of the way you run your business? Yeah. And when you think about those departments, do you have perhaps 5 core steps that you are taking right now in each of these categories that are going to move the needle in your business? And now finally, do you have an idea of who could be the right person to offload these things to? It could be a virtual assistant, it could be an intern, it could be a family member, it could be a salesperson, whoever this person means. Do you have a way of really defining this role and what this person is going to need in terms of attitude, personality, characteristics, character, right? To be able to succeed in taking things off your plate, right? So I hope this has given you some food for thought regarding standard operating procedures. And there's a lot more coming next week. I am fired up because we are gearing up towards our final masterclass of the year. Somebody write masterclass in the chat. This is it, 2023. These are the last weeks of the year where you can learn and absorb everything you need to grow your business strategically. So if you have not yet registered, this is my invitation because we are going to be talking about all these things and a lot more in our masterclass starting Monday, December the 4th. So if you haven't yet registered, make sure you go to Musicians Profit Masterclass. My team and I are going to be guiding hundreds of musicians in the 5 core steps on building a music business the smart way. How you can create leverage, how you can build a business that does not require you to be the one doing it all, that does not need you to be the producer anymore. But instead, you get to be the visionary, you get to be the leader, you get to be the CEO of your business and your life when you understand how to work smarter, not harder. So if you're interested in learning how you can build an online business as a musician and create more leverage in the way you work, yeah, somebody wrote masterclass next week. Go to Musicians Profit Masterclass. We're going to be talking a lot more about all these topics. I can't wait to see you there. Thank you for joining me, and let's prosper together.